everyone, my name is Chloe, and today I'm here to talk about my November stats and standouts. So if you haven't seen one of these videos, in, like 2021, maybe 2022, I got addicted to a spreadsheet, and so I keep track of a lot of reading stats, and why, I don't know, I just love it. I really am addicted to it, and so today I'm going to share my November reading stats as well as my favorite books that I read for the month. So let's just get into it. So in the month of November, I read 38 books and I DNF'd 2. Again, my DNF rate this year is just spot on because I think last year total I DNF'd 4, and I'm DNFing like more. I'm DNFing more, and that is good. I read 11,678 pages, which is almost 300, well, it's almost 400 pages a day. And that is crazy. I mean, it's all pretty much audio, as you'll see, but crazy. The average page length was 307 pages. So I'm reading about a book, almost a book and a third a day. And 29 were novels, 6 were chapter books, 1 was a devotional, 1 was a tome, and 1 was a novella. So mostly novels, but not always. Like that chapter book and novella and stuff definitely brings it down a little bit. Then 30 were adult, 1 was young adult, and 7 were middle grade. 29 were from my shelf and 9 were from somewhere else. That is probably the best I've done in a long time. Like, because 29 on my shelf, my goal is at least 50-50. So 29 off my shelf is great. Then 29 I used Libby with. 6 I had just directly off my shelf. And then 1 each from NetGalley, Kindle, and the library. So again, with books that I own physically, I would love to read them all physically. However, just this season of life, that is not happening. So a lot of them I'll use an audiobook copy or whatever from Libby. And Libby is a free resource through your library that is just awesome. 29 were on audio, 7 were physical, and 2 were ebooks. So I'm really trying to love my Kindle, guys. I'm trying to love my Kindle. 4 were new release and 34 were backlist. Pretty average. As far as genre goes, again, all over the board. You can tell it was nonfiction November because that was my most read genre, with 9 nonfiction, 8 women's fiction, 5 romance, 4 historical. So gosh, Historathon, I kind of botched. 4 contemporary, 4 mystery thriller, 3 dystopian, and 1 sci-fi fantasy. So that is that. Star ratings. I had 2 DNFs, like I said. 1 1-star, which almost never happens. 1 2-star, 1 2.5, 7 3 stars, 12 3.5 stars, 12 4 stars, 2 4.5s, and 2 5s. And so overall, like reflecting on the month, I feel like it was a great month. And the average was 3.57, which is like 3.5-ish is my mean. Like for me, that means like I would recommend it. If it sounds interesting, I would recommend it. I enjoyed it pretty well. So I would say it's good. So let's talk about the best. I have 5 books that I would say are the best, and then 5 Christmas books that I would say are the best. So I mean, I'm going to talk briefly because it's 10 books, which is a lot. So first we have Bring Her Home by David Bell. This is about a man who walks into an ER because his 15-year-old daughter is there, and we don't know what happened. She's in really bad shape. She was in this park with her best friend. Her best friend is dead. What happened to these girls? There's a lot of twists and turns. I could not put this one down. It was really good. Then we have The Pull of the Stars by Emma Donoghue. So this is a historical fiction about 1918 in Ireland and the Spanish flu, and it follows a nurse who works in the maternity ward, and this is primarily it takes place almost all in the ward, and it's gruesome, but it's intense. It's like, I don't know, it was definitely one that like afterwards I had to read some light and fluffies because it was heavy, but it was really good. Then we have the Restoration trilogy. I think there's 4 books actually, by Terry Blackstock. So the premise of this series is one day the entire world stops. Everything shuts down. The cars don't run. Electricity, of course, like gas is not there because the gas plants can't run without electricity. Water, same thing. So all these people are having to resort back to kind of primal times, and it talks about like how quickly we kind of go savage, but also just like it's set in modern times. What would that be like for our kids, for ourselves? What would we do? How would we make it work? And how does faith weave into that? Because this is a Christian fiction series. So really good if you like dystopian. Then a nonfiction, A Life Impossible, Living with ALS, Finding Peace and Wisdom with a Fragile Existence by Steve Gleason. So Steve Gleason was a NFL player and he has ALS. And this book not only talks about his experience, but also his wife's experience, and how that ALS is kind of a slowly debilitating disease, or it can be at least, and it kind of is for him. And so as he loses the ability to move, to talk, to do basic human functions, and how their relationship changes through that. And this is not a sunshine and rainbows book by any means. I thought this was really real, really vulnerable, definitely opened my eyes to some things, and yeah, I would recommend, but again, kind of a heavy read. And then last for the like general books is Flying Angels by Danielle Steele. I just talked about this week. This book is like 3.5, 4-star for me. It is about nurses, nurse pilots during World War II. So they go, well, they are pilots, but they go to pick up soldiers, injured soldiers, and take them back. And just the dangers, the sexism, all of that. This book does tout like the friendship element, and I would say the friendship element is really underdeveloped. There are, everybody has a romance, but I would say this definitely is focused more on the women's experience. We get a lot of perspectives, but in a way that's really digestible, and it was just an interesting perspective, and I enjoyed it. So now let's talk about the 5 Christmassy books. So this one doesn't really feel Christmassy, but Winter in Paradise by Ellen Hildebrand, the whole trilogy is, it takes place around New Year's, and it is about a woman who discovers that her husband is having an alternate life in the islands, and now he has been killed in a plane crash. So her and her 2 sons go to figure out what this guy was doing. And it is a trilogy. I really liked it all. This first one is the best. And bonus, it says number 1 on the spine. Why do series not all do this? That is like my biggest pet peeve, is that they don't do it. And so high points to Ellen Hildebrand and the publishers for putting the number on the spine. Anyway, next is Dear Santa by Debbie McComber. So this is about a girl who goes home for Christmas, and her best friend and her boyfriend or fiance or something are cheating, and so she just had a bad breakup. She's going home for 2 weeks, and she could not be more relieved because she's just trying to get away from it all. And when she gets there, it is so cozy. She's got kind of a unique family situation somewhat, and her brother and his little boy are just the sweetest, and it's just a cozy, great book. And you get... So the whole premise, Dear Santa, her mom shows her letters that she wrote to Santa when she was little, and everything came true. And so she's like, gosh, maybe I should write to Santa again. And because she's about to get this big promotion maybe, and healing from the breakup and all of that. And it's just so cozy, so sweet. We get to see them like going to church on Christmas Eve. This is not Christian fiction, but like you get to spend the holidays with them in a way that felt just so cozy. I loved it. Then we have Finding Christmas by Karen Shaler. So this is another one, very Stars Hollow-esque. I know that's used a lot when it comes to holiday reads. And this one is about this girl who loves Christmas. She loves Christmas so much. And she is wanting to take her boyfriend on this scavenger hunt that then meets in this like cozy little Stars Hollow-esque town for a weekend of Christmas festivities. Well, some mix-ups happen, and a different guy ends up getting the first clue, and so he therefore is meeting her at the town, and different things. This is kind of one of those books that if whatever could go wrong will, and that's annoying, but I still loved this book. It was super cozy. They stay at this inn with a sweet chef, she does everything. It's a bed and breakfast, and just very, very cozy. And I think this is really, like, there's no cheating. It's pretty like clean. Like it's so good. I would recommend. And I think this is maybe a Hallmark movie. I'm not sure. If you don't love Hallmark movies, these last 2 might not have been for you. But if you do and can just embrace the spirit, they're great. Then we have The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. This is about 2 twin sisters who switch spots. One of them hosts a show like on the Food Network, and she gets a concussion and loses her taste and smell. And so she asks her sister to switch spots with her. If you can get that, like if you can accept that premise and that there's going to be some plot holes and stuff with that, I thought this was really cute. The other sister runs the family bakery, and so this is very food focused and just, again, good messages on sisters. There are romances for both of them, but I would say this is more about sisterhood and standing up for what you believe and what you deserve and all of that, I would say this is really good. And then last is A Dog Named Christmas by Greg Kincaid. Again, another one I just talked about, so I won't go too in depth, but this is about a family that adopts a dog for the 2 weeks leading up to Christmas in order so the dogs don't have to spend Christmas alone. They also kind of campaign for everybody else to do so. The dad has like a traumatic past with dogs, so he doesn't want to, but their son with, I believe, Down syndrome, he convinces them to do it, and we just really see the innocence of dogs and the love of dogs and how dogs become family. And this is not sad. It's wholesome. It's inspiring. There's a prequel where we get more of the dad's story, and then 2 books after. So I can't wait to read this. And yeah, I would definitely, this is an adult book, but I would feel comfortable handing it to my kids. And yeah, it was a really cute book. So that is my stats and standouts for November. It was a great month. December, I'm not exactly sure how it'll go. Right now I'm reading a really long book. It's a good one, but it's a long one. And so it's kind of slowing me down. The other thing is just Christmas. There's so much. We've got a Christmas concert for school. We've got the end of some sports. We've got multiple family gatherings. We've got all sorts of things going on. So I'm not sure what my reading will be doing. But we've still got this little one who loves to hang out in the middle of the night. And so I'm still getting a lot of reading done then. A couple of you guys have asked, like, how am I getting so much reading done with 4 small children? And it's really that. Like, when I go to bed, it takes me a while to, like, wind down from the day. So I read then. And then she gets up 2 or 3 times a night. And so I read then. And a lot of audio. So that is the answer to that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what was the best thing you read in November, and we'll see you in the next one.